What's going on, guys? Megan here. It is 5:30 in the morning. I just got off Uvu. What the fuck uses Uvu anymore, right? It's mostly Skype. I just got off Uvu with Hansa. We had uh, I don't go into the details, but he gets off work really late, and we normally get on Skype or Uvu and just start talking about the future and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like finance, uh, planning, a bunch of personal shit. But the reason why I'm up so late is because obviously you guys know school is over until the next semester. I'm also off from work, so most people think, well, that's the time to lay back and not do anything, right? Wrong. That's when I actually have the most work on my plate because I get to focus on my daily routine, which is what this video is about, right? My daily routine. And those of you guys who've been subscribers for a long time know exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, shout out to all the old subscribers, man, from day one, all the veteran motherfuckers, the ones that are with me since 2011, July 2011 when I started this channel. A lot of y'all still here, and I fucking love y'all. So big shout out to y'all. And the newcomers, obviously, you guys are welcome because you're gonna be the veterans 5 years from now if I'm still around, right? But obviously, I have a lot of goals to conquer, so I'll be around. But enough rambling. Um, so yeah, so on my when there's no school or work, that's when I get to focus on my daily routine. It's a piece of paper right here, right? I get to do everything it takes me to get from point A to point B. You guys know my philosophy on life, dominance, discipline, direction. It's simply about knowing that you started off as at a level, could be level one, level three, level five. So you started off at this level, but you also know that you're capable of going all the way up to level 100 or level 90 or level 80. Everyone has a maximum capacity, right? Like in fucking video games, right? Final Fantasy type of shit, right? You know, there's a level that's your ultimate final form. But obviously, we know we're not there. And I play my life based on that, using that principle. If I know that I'm level 15, but I know that deep down inside I could make it to level 90, then every single thing that I do, I try to take that step forward. I try to make sure that by the time I'm dead, or by the time I'm done, I want to be as close to my maximum potential as possible. And when you use numbers, it brings it into perspective, right? If you think of yourself as level 15 and the maximum you is at level 20, that's too close. Nobody's that close to that final form. The maximum use like level 80, and you know what, every day you got to do something to level up 16, 17, 18, no matter how long it takes. Make progress, make growth, right? Just like the economy. If it doesn't grow, it's going to die. You can't stay the same. People say, well, I've been the same for a long time. You're not the same. You worse. You don't stay the same. You either get better or you get worse, right? And Team 3D, we choose to get better. So what I do is simply I set a goal, right? I look at everything starts with vision. I have a vision of what Jonathan wants to be, and I map out the steps to get there. Kind of like you're trying to go from here to Walmart. You go, well, I gotta make a left here, I gotta make a right here, use the GPS. I gotta, stop at this light, take the highway, whatever. Because you know where you're going, you know what directions to take. Most people are stuck and sending me these messages saying, Megan, help me, I'm lost, because you don't know where you want to go. When you know where you're going, the way to get there is not a problem. You just gotta, use your mental GPS and figure out what do I have to do. You want to be a millionaire? Well, map out all the steps it takes to become a billionaire. You know, money comes from value. Do you have value? Did you create value? Do you own value? You know, so it's people don't have a motivation problem or a lack of direction issue. It's just they have a lack of vision. It's a vision problem. Most people don't know what they fucking want, right? They want this today, and tomorrow they want that. They want to be Shakespeare today, and they want to be Michael Jordan tomorrow. You gotta have vision. Once you have your vision, the steps to get there are gonna map out. That's why I'm so focused and so dedicated in my life and so disciplined. People are like, oh my God, how do you manage all this? How are you so disciplined? This and that. I'm not disciplined. I'm one of the laziest guys on earth. It's just I know what I want. I know I'm trying to go to Walmart, for example, and I know the directions to get there. I write them down on paper and I follow that every day, one step at a time. The directions from here to Walmart, once again, could be 3 left turns and 4 right turns, but when you're in your car, you're only worried about that next step, that first left turn. And when you make that in the next direction. So map out your life, find out how you get there, and then do it one step at a time. It's so simple. There's no rocket science behind it. Obviously, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'm still using this, guys, and I make copies of this. I optimize it every week. You know, I live my life in 7 day cycles. All right, I break up my life in 7 day cycles. It's the same thing for this new year. If you're looking for a new way to organize your life, I've been doing this since 2011, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Break up your life into 7 day cycles. Pretend you only have 7 days to live, and that allows you to make the most out of your energy, out of your productivity. Because we as humans, when we get closer to a deadline, our motivation goes up. That's why we procrastinate a lot. You notice how the professors are like, you gotta do this project. It's due 2 weeks from now. You don't give a fuck. It's that Saturday before it's due that you start cranking it up and you get an A on the project, right? The closer you get to that deadline, you start to work harder. Most people have goals but don't have deadline, right? And I always say goals without deadline is wishful thinking. If you don't have a goal, a deadline to your goal, you're not gonna have that extra motivation. When I do that 7 day to live thing and I tell myself, Jonathan, you're gonna die in 7 days, so do the best you could do in the next 7 days, that pumps me the fuck up because I think, well, Sunday is the end of my life, in quotes. Everything that a man can accomplish in 7 days to better himself, I'm gonna do that. Right? And then when the 7 days is over, I have a new 7 days and it allows me to learn a new past mistakes and improve. So I print this out and I printed obviously 7 copies. Sometimes I make more copies when I'm at work, and I don't just put random shit on there, right? This is daily things, things that I have to do daily to get to the next level, right? Like I said earlier in the video. So I put the things that pertain to my goal. If you're trying to be a musician, your shit's gonna be different than mine. You're trying to be a basketball player, you're trying to be an engineer, whatever. Yours gonna be different than mine, right? Me, I'm trying to be the best that I could be. I'm trying to be a great leader. You guys know I love leadership. I love seeing people in distress and getting them out of it. Even if I don't get credit for it, I don't give a fuck about the credit, to be honest. And I'm not trying to say that I'm more than like that. Just I love seeing somebody come to me like, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck to do. And when we done talking or dealing with each other, they have that fucking chest up, the S on there, on the fucking front, and they're ready to take on the world. I love that. It feels like I have a legacy. It feels like I'm leaving something behind. So every day I'm working towards that. Obviously, I have other goals too, but like I said, you want to focus on the main goal. My main goal is to be that, to be what, to be everything that I didn't have. I didn't have a leader growing up. I didn't have a big brother figure or a father figure, right? I had to fucking follow and follow and follow until I was able to get up and say, you know what, Jonathan, you be your own fucking leader. But then I feel bad for the people that are going through that shit. They don't have a father, somebody to follow. They don't have a mentor. They don't have somebody to teach them life, from his own experience and things like that. And that's where I come in. I want to just be able to be like, hey, avoid that. Don't do this. I've been there. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to tell you, look, you could be this. You could be better than that, right? A lot of people message me and tell me I watched the video and then, it gave me a new leash on life and now I feel like a conqueror. And you believe, because I believe in people. When you believe in people, it empowers them to believe in themselves, right? When they're like, oh my God, you believe in me? Maybe I'm worth something. So that's what I want to do. I want to be that one guy that every time I meet somebody, they don't leave the same way they came. They leave empowered. They leave better than me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my work is only completed when the person I was leading, ends up becoming, his own leader. So in order to achieve that, that's what I have my daily routine for that. Obviously, I also have a daughter. I have to try to take care of my little brother, things like that. So they'll come into they'll have their own respective places in my goals. But this is mainly the bulk of my vision is to be this amazing person, man. Nothing to ask, nothing to uh, nothing to shy away from. Anyway, so for example, I don't think you guys could see, but it's pretty basic, right? I'll show this in several videos. Every day, I study a documentary, right? So try to use this and make your own pattern, right? Using your own, like I said, don't copy and paste what I'm doing, but try to customize it to fit your goal. So to better I don't know how to explain it. My mental skills, my mental strength, right? So I watch a documentary a day, right? It could be on anything. Most likely, I'm obsessed with warfare and things like that. So mostly some warfare because I like learning strategies and tactics. The documentary a day, it could be on physics, could be on anything that I'm interested in, as long as it has something to do with my vision. I study a leader a day, right? I'm gonna go through this real quick because I've shown this in so many videos, but keep getting these messages. I guess you guys don't see them. A documentary a day, a leader a day. It could be J.P. Morgan. It could fucking be Alexander the Great, Napoleon. It could be anybody. Khalid ibn al-Walid. He was a great Muslim general. I don't discriminate. Anybody that was a great leader, I studied them. I studied what they studied. I studied what they contributed to the world. Their quotes, facts about them. There's something to learn about every person that left his mark on history. The ancient civilization, I look at their rise and fall, the critical points, what caused them to rise, what made them fall. Was it disunity? Was it, you know, AOB? So Next thing on the ancient army, it helps me work on my organization skills. If you study the military, you'd be an organized motherfucker. But these guys are disciplined, man, and very tactical. Next, an ancient army, it could be Sparta, it could be fucking the Persian army, the Greeks, Macedonians, Genghis Khan's army, doesn't matter. And I learned a lot of stuff from studying armies, believe it or not. A battle of the day, one great battle. The world we live in today is shaped because of the battles of the past, so it's important to see what battle made it so that you could have, you could be in America, you could be in Ireland, who defended you, things like that, man. CEO of the day, kind of once again the whole leadership thing. Study their biography, what they read, what they learned, how they became wealthy, just mainly to, that's the finance side of my life, right? Because you don't want to, I made too many mistakes when I was a teenager, and I'm trying to, you know, avoid repeating them. And articles of the day, right? I would go on Business Insider or any website, Wikipedia, and just read articles on the topic, about 10 a day. I used to do 20, but I realized it took me too long. So just 10 articles a day just to increase my knowledge overall. And that's on the left side. The right side, I have my books. Obviously, you guys know I try to read 4 books a month, sometimes 2 books a month, depending on how my workload or my school load is. This month, I'm reading some of Hannibal's books, and I'm still reading the Iliad by Homer. Um, next. At the bottom, I have academics. That's like the school. See, I just plug in the shit, before the day comes, right? So, like for tomorrow, well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so it is tomorrow. Before I go to bed, I just plug the shit in. I put the names in, right? And the next day, I just go to town. The books go here, and in the middle, I have my daily planner. Like if I wake up at 8, I'm gonna put 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. So that allows me to plug in, my schedule for the day, right? If I have to go somewhere at 10, then I'm gonna put that into the 10 o'clock box. And if I have to do something around 6, I'm gonna put in the 6 o'clock box, right? If I sleep from, I don't know, this to this, I put in here. It allows me to see the gaps, the open gaps, right? The free time that I have. And using that free time, I plug in, something productive. Then it also allows me to see how much free time I allow myself, because you gotta give yourself free time. You can't fucking work so hard that you don't have time to play video games or fucking, play Call of Duty with, with the homies. You will see me on the PS3. I'll find when I'm done doing all this hard shit. Don't work so hard that you don't fucking enjoy life, right? When I'm done doing most of this, which takes me, a few hours. I'm done with that. I go in the room and I do what I call the cocoon, the Migan cocoon. I go in my cocoon. I just play whatever fuck video game I want to play, guys. I play that shit for hours. Then I go to bed. I feel rewarded. I was productive. I did my daily routine. Did a bunch of other things. Took care of my finances. Hung out with my kid. Worked out. Made my meals. Made some videos. Can I at least fucking play some video games? Like Mike Tyson said, can I at least get a blowjob? You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people think, this is hard. It's not really hard. I mean, I could show you guys the previous one. Like this is the completed day, for example. You see, when it's completed, I highlight it, right? I have a whole bunch of this. I have a whole folder of this shit. Look at that, whole folder of this. I don't fuck around, guys. It really pays off. You do this shit you fill out one of these, and you do that once a day. At the end of the year, right? That's over 360. Well, let's say just over 300. So that's over 300 documentaries you watched, over 300 leaders you studied, 300 nations. I also studied a nation. I told you guys that. Over 300 nations that you studied. This one, for example, was Italy. Now look at the import, export, culture, music they listen to. Just gotta know the people that are around the world, man. You share this earth with mad fucking people. Why would you only know the people in your neighborhood? Know people, you know what I'm saying? Know their culture, know their history. That's 300 CEOs. It adds up, guys. A little bit each day adds up. So if you're looking for a way to start off your new year, a solid routine, do the exact same thing. Pull out a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be as complex as this. Pull out a piece of paper and put things that you know that if you do daily, at the end of the year, you will be at a much higher level, right? And it will help you get from point A to point B. You feel yourself leveling up. I'm not the same way I was last year. A year ago, I know I made gains, not just physically but mentally, you know. And I also have more things that I do daily, but I don't want to put on this video because I don't want you guys to feel like you're overwhelmed and you gotta do all that. You don't gotta keep up with me. It took me a long time to get there, right? I started with one thing a day, 2 things a day, went on and on. Another thing that I do is all this right here, but that's a whole different video. Things that I try to do each day to also increase different types of skills. You know what I'm saying? Fucking cardio, music, reading, solving math problems. I'm a tutor. I tutor, a whole bunch of subjects. So I gotta stay up, updated on that. Java, computer science. I do the English, mathematics, history, philosophy, psychology, a whole bunch of shit. So I gotta stay on my toes. Economics, statistics, business, finance. So, it's a lot of things that I gotta do every day to make sure that my brain stays fresh. But anyway, this video is too fucking long, guys. If you want a part two, I'll make a part two. I just can't fit everything into one video. But that's for all the people that were asking me for the new year, how can they get on track early so they don't have to, so they don't fall off the road. Because most people just don't have that direction. Remember what I said earlier. As long as you have your vision, it's easy knowing what you gotta do to get there. Right, guys? Team 3D, Dominance, Discipline, Direction. Big shout out to you guys. I appreciate the love coming from all over the world, all the likes, all the shares, and just know that we're in this together, man. You guys not doing this shit alone. I know what it's like. If you're watching these videos because you have that emptiness in your heart, you feel like you want to accomplish something before you fucking die. We all know we're gonna fucking die, but a lot of us want to accomplish something before we do die. You know what I'm saying? We want to leave something behind, and there's nothing wrong with trying to be remembered. There's nothing wrong with that. It's that greatness inside of you that's trying to fucking come out. Let that bitch out. All right, guys, I'm out.
Yo, come on, son. Anyway, so I was like, yo, Hansa, let's make a video and show them how we came up with these insiders. And we spent like the last 10 minutes laughing. The first one is you have to chill.